Good morning. I'm Pete Najarian on this Monday morning. Excited to be here. I tell you what, this is the take for Market Rebellion, by the way. And when you look back to last week and we look through the earnings and we look through the jobs report, oh my goodness, we had all the catalysts in the world for the markets to move to the upside, and they did. As a matter of fact, record numbers once again. We just seem like we say that almost every week, almost every day, but it's because that is what we are in. We are in a market that has been rushing to the upside, and it just continues actually even into today. On Friday, we actually had the Dow up over 300 points early on. It faded just a little bit off of that and then did resume by the end of the day and actually finished the day up a couple of hundred points. You look over at the NASDAQ, a little bit of that divergence that started on Thursday. Not quite the same performance. It got beat up a little bit, as a matter of fact. It was up 100 points or so early, rolled back, but did finish the day up about 30 points. But this was more of the S&P and the Dow really ripping to the upside based upon a lot of what I already just told you as far as the catalyst. So I'm looking at volatility. Volatility in an interesting range, actually. When you look at volatility underneath 15 and up above towards 17, finished right around 16 and a half. But what really stood out, and I bring this up every day, I'll always bring this up if it's pertinent, and it is, how about those volumes? People talk about, how about them Cowboys? How about those volumes? Volumes were absolutely on fire on Friday. 57.4 million contracts trading. Here's all the different names that traded over 1 million contracts on Friday. Tesla, NVIDIA, Pfizer, Apple, Lucid, Ford, AMD. How you like that list? A pretty impressive list. I mean, absolutely an extraordinary day. Volumes off the charts. The derivatives markets have been on fire. They continue to be on fire. The volumes, even today, as I'm looking, as we've broken out into the first hour of trade, just incredible volumes that are already starting and a lot of individual names that are moving. We'll get to that in just a second. Crude bounced off of what was a very volatile week, quite frankly, for crude. It was all over the place, underneath 80. It actually finished right around 81. 10-year kind of pulled back a little bit, but with that volume, with that move that we'd seen in energy was the leader, as a matter of fact, after crude got up over 81 after being in the 79s. It was up about a 1.5%. Industrials are up about 1%. We have materials up just under 1%. Healthcare under a little bit of pressure, and financials were a little bit flat. But we had all kinds of crazy movers, a lot of those based upon what was going on with earnings. Live Nation was up about 15%. Expedia was up about 15%. Pfizer was up about 11% with this new pill, got people very excited. Another catalyst for the markets themselves. Cruise ships, as things are starting to feel like maybe we're opening up a little bit more. Cruise ships are up very nicely, up about 8%. You look over at CCL, you look at Norwegian and those names. Delta and United having a very nice day, up about 7%. Airlines, obviously, also a beneficiary of this whole thing. Moderna, not so great, down about 16%. Peloton, really not so great. And I joked about it. I'm not trying to be too crass, but Peloton, and I called it the very expensive clothes hanger. Well, it looks like that might be more right than I even thought. That was down 35%. It's getting hit again today. Boeing was up about 5%. So we have a lot of different things going on within the market. And obviously the catalysts are still there for earnings, vaccines, reopening, and all that type of a thing. So we get into the weekend, you kind of wonder, all right, we've gotten deeply through earnings season. We've got these job numbers out of the way. We're moving along, and what's the next catalyst? Well, the markets are still digesting, and I think that's part of the catalyst, still digesting a lot of that news from last week. Matter of fact, in the pre-market, the Dow was up about 150 points. NASDAQ, once again, not the same type of participation, just like we talked about last Friday. Not the same kind of participation. It's been flat. Matter of fact, it's been up a little bit throughout the morning, somewhere between 25 and maybe call it 40 points to the upside. Meanwhile, the Dow just continues to just sort of accelerate to the upside, up about 170 points early on. First hour of trade, a lot can happen in the rest of the day. Obviously, news is always flowing, so things can change. But right now, it looks like the market's feeling pretty strong. Crude back up above 81. So that's something that the markets are enjoying and embracing. As a matter of fact, energy up about 1.5% because of that. The 10-year about 1.48. Now, we've been watching the 10-year start to slip just a little bit more and a little bit more. We had that quick blip up towards 1.7 just a week or so ago, but it's been kind of falling back ever since. And here we are once again underneath 1.5. Financials, seems like they are disregarding that. As a matter of fact, financials actually up about 1% today. Materials are having a really good day. Infrastructure, everybody talking about that late vote on the infrastructure, $1 trillion. Once again, what a trillion here, trillion there, what the heck? You might as well just keep on throwing money, which is exactly what we're doing. Industrials up about 0.5%. Volatility index, it's actually been creeping up throughout the day. Something to keep a nice eye on. We talked about this being underneath 15 just on Friday, but we did finish at 16.5. Take a look at where we are right now. As a matter of fact, last I looked, we were very fast approaching 17. So that's starting to move to the upside in a pretty interesting way, despite the fact that we are seeing a fairly bullish market, both in the S&P, the NASDAQ, and obviously with the Dow itself. So a lot of big movers that are going on today. It's going to be pretty interesting. We've got Caterpillar, that one of those. Obviously, you're talking about some of this infrastructure and all the rest of it. That's up about 5% early on. As a matter of fact, Live Nation under some pressure, that unbelievable tragedy, very sad, obviously, that stock getting hit after the big numbers that they gave up last week. But this concert with folks having an unbelievably rough time, and obviously the loss of human life, very, very tragic. That's something that's going to be hanging on this for a while, and they have absolutely stayed on top of this, saying they'll release news as it comes and all the rest of it. Nucor, Freeport, those names having a really nice start to the session. As a matter of fact, up about 5% or so. Oxy and APA, we talk about energy. We always look back towards these beta names. They're up more than 3%, having a pretty enjoyable day. Peloton, well, not so great. After being down 35%, down another 7% today. So that's a little bit of pressure. Tesla down 4%. Obviously, when you've got Elon Musk, there's a lot of positives, and every once in a while there's some negatives, and some of the commentary over the weekend seems to be pushing that stock down just a little bit. We'll see how long that lasts. So got a couple of unusuals, and then we're going to get out of here. I am not on the show today, any noon show or 5 o'clock show. I will be on the noon show tomorrow, however. Lucid is my first one. We've got two unusuals. Lucid, this is a name that's hit and hit and hit, and it's been right and right and right. So always like following some of these that are consistently been hitting and been right. So Lucid's one of those names. 25,200 of this week's expiring November 45 calls. Where was the stock? Yeah, it's trading right about 45. They were buying these 45 calls for $3 up to over $4 for these. Oh, and by the way, this isn't a spread, but they're buying the 50 strike calls as well. 15,000 of those that expire this coming Friday. Those are about 2 cents or $2 up to about $3 for those 50 strike calls. Really, really active, a lot of volume there. I talked about volumes. There you go. That's a pretty strong volume there. The trade desk, TTD, 11,000 of those expiring Friday. We've been talking about all this for a very, very long period of time, but if anybody's new to this, the short term has been very dominant over the last 12 months, 16 months, 18 months, very, very short term. Today's a great example of this. The first one that I was talking about, Lucid, they expire Friday. These, they expire Friday for TTD, the trade desk. 85 is where the stock was trading. We had a buyer of 11,000 of the 90 strike calls. Those were $1.20 up to about $1.60 for those calls. So very interesting to see this. Oh, by the way, we have a great round table for you this afternoon, right at the market close, but you've got to sign up for it. It's going to be really exciting. Alan Lane from Silvergate's going to be joining us, talking crypto, talking about all the creativeness in the banking world and all that. It's going to be really exciting. Looking forward to that. John and he have become better and better friends over time. And as we've gotten deeper and seeing a lot more activity in the crypto space, we obviously have our crypto team here at Market Rebellion. Really excited about what these guys have been doing, and very excited for today to have the round table and listen to Alan and see what he has to say about what they are seeing from their perspective as well. Folks, have a great day of trading.